Welcome to the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine graduation celebration. Please welcome the class of 2022. Please welcome the Executive Dean of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine, Dr. J. Harry Isaacson.
We made it, huh? I can't tell you how excited I am to be here tonight and to welcome you all to this wonderful celebration. This extremely talented group, you're going to be doctors as of tomorrow. I want to welcome those of you joining virtually, but I will tell you virtual is not the same. So we have had 2 years of virtual graduations, and we have been robbed really of the ability to be with our students as they move on to the next phase of their careers. So for me personally, it is so gratifying to be with you. I was walking in from the parking garage and seeing the visual display, and it's sort of really warms your heart to see this group move on. It's an all-star group, and it's a team, so an all-star team. And one of the things we really emphasize at our school is teams, much like Cleveland Clinic Team of Teams. They have grown together as a team, learned from each other. We have learned so much from them, too. What you don't know is the talent in this group. We know the talent. The talent is in patient care. The talent is in research. The talent is in improving the lives of communities. These students have embraced diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they have managed through COVID, and that has not been easy. It's been a challenge for us all. But this is a remarkable group of students and future physicians. And my hope certainly is that we'll see a lot of you back here soon. We now have 85, as of July 1, 85 of our students who have stayed here to train, which is great. 19 of our alumni now are on staff. I know of at least 2 more that will be joining us later this summer, and I hope that many of this group here, after a few years of seasoning somewhere else, will come back to roost. Now, tonight is really all about them. But we have to thank many people who support our students in our school. Let's start with probably the most important: family, friends, and loved ones. If you're able to, if you fall into that group, please stand so we can acknowledge you. We are so grateful for your support for our students. Thank you for placing the trust in us to have your students with us for 5 years or even a few more, and to see them grow. We have an absolutely spectacular Cleveland Clinic academic leadership team. my predecessor, Jim Young, sitting in the front row. Actually, Jim will be retiring after, I think, 29 years at the clinic. He has made such an imprint in so many ways, in a positive way, on the college. I've learned so much from him. We will have the appropriate celebration for you, Jim, I know in July, but thank you so much. Serpil Erzurum, who is our Chief Research and Academic Officer, couldn't be here, and then Jamie Stoller, the Chair of our Education Institute. Jamie, thank you. It's really so wonderful for me to have this group to rely on, really, as sources of wisdom and advice. Case, this relationship has grown. Stan, I saw you come in, I think, somewhere. Stan, thank you so much. Let's stand. And Leah Logio, who cannot be here tonight. It's sort of funny, in the Dean's Suite, I'm actually the person with the most experience, even though I'm relatively young in the role, but the partnership continues to evolve. Amy Wilson-Delfos is also here. We really have a great team that works together on behalf of the whole school. Our administrative team, absolutely superb. The students could tell you they know most of these people. They helped set up the whole event tonight, and Marcy Party leads them. And I can't thank them enough for they really are the engine that keeps our programs going, the classes going, everything up and running, and are key. And legions of faculty in basic science, clinical medicine, research mentors who really provide the one-on-one guidance for our students. And again, we learn so much from the students, but they learn from them as well. Physician advisors, you'll meet some of them later today. I think a very unique role. They're seated over there, many of them. They have one-on-one relationships with our students to guide them for 5 years, really through a unique curriculum. That's unlike anything else. And it's a big transition for many of our students, and they do that expertly. Student support really has grown, I think, and I'm proud of that. We have diversity and inclusion, wellness, and career counseling are all getting more and more of our attention because it's so important. It's more than just what happens in the hospital, the clinic, or in the classroom. It's about keeping our students well and healthy. Finally, the leadership team that I work with, really a remarkable group of dedicated educators. You will not find a more passionate group of people devoted to the students in the school than this team, and I'm very grateful for them. Norma, what can we say that hasn't been said? This is a picture of this class in 2018 as first-year students. With Norma after our traditional lunch, which we've had some struggles with COVID trying to make that happen. Norma and her late husband, Al, are our greatest supporters. And I think that what is so unique is that Norma stays engaged with the students in the school. She's always interested in the updates of the new class coming in. She's interested in where people are going to graduate and stays involved. Norma, we can't thank you enough. All right, now the class of 2022 has to put up with me a little bit, okay? As the dean, I learned from Jim, you do get a few minutes to say a few remarks. So I want to add my brief reflection on the changing landscape of medicine in 2022. And, you know, we have an emphasis on professionalism, and I've come to realize it's really a dynamic concept that must adapt to meet the needs of our patients and society. So tonight, my message to you is to speak up as part of your professional responsibility, and I'll make it clear what I mean by that. Many of us older folks grew up in a generation of medicine in which we sort of kept our heads down. We focused on the task at hand. We focused on the patient in front of us. In the clinic or in the hospital, we focused on the research question. And we took it for granted that the information would disseminate out to the public and be trusted and valued. I don't need to tell anyone here, 2022 is much different. Our patients and the public are faced with multiple sources of information. Social media has exploded, and seeds of doubt about all aspects of medical care can be sown very easily Misinformation can spread like a weed, unchecked, and damage our ability to provide the best care possible for our patients. And COVID has exposed some stark realities that we must confront as a profession. So science is under threat. As doctors, we must battle misinformation, and we're faced with people who have access to information that is not accurate, and it threatens the health of themselves and others. And our scientists are under threat too. Amy Acton, as you recall, forced out of her job. Dr. Fauci facing death threats. Other people like Peter Hotez, who spent a lifetime trying to create vaccines for the world, being attacked personally. It's just unconscionable what's going on now. So, as a physician, you need to speak up. We all need to speak up for science and for scientists. This is growing. There are resources to help us. Even the Federation of State Medical Boards just last month came out with a statement about this. So I want to plant the seed with you. I want to encourage you to get involved. Now, this can seem overwhelming. What are we as individuals to do? Well, I want to take a moment to look to our past. How many of you have heard of or know anything about Bernadine Healy? A few. I know some over here do very well. Well, Bernadine Healy has been described as Joan of Arc, Madame Curie, and Florence Nightingale all wrapped into one. She was truly ahead of her time in so many ways, including her ability to speak up. Her career highlights are just unbelievable. So she was the first woman to be professor in the Johns Hopkins Department of Cardiology. She worked in the White House in the Office of Science and Technology under 3 administrations, president of the American Heart Association, and we were very fortunate. She came to the Cleveland Clinic in 1985, was chair of research here till 1991. Then she went on to become the head of the NIH from 91 to 93, finished off as dean of the Ohio State University School of Medicine, and then president of the Red Cross. That's not a bad resume, hey? In these roles, however, she faced adversity, and she spoke up consistently for science, physicians, and physician scientists. And I'm going to share 3 brief stories with you about her that I think can serve as examples. So the first story has to do with her speaking up for a physician. It was actually herself. So at Johns Hopkins, she was a single mother and a rising faculty member, and she was the object of a vulgar, sexist lampooning by an all-male faculty club. Now, this was 1982, and she looked for support. She found none. She was told, boys will be boys, you just have to put up with that. She refused to do that. She refused to remain silent, and she pushed and eventually, over the threat of a lawsuit, got a meeting with that all-male faculty club and changed the culture and changed that club. Second story, she spoke up for a group without a voice. At the NIH, first woman leader facing many traditional men, and she uncovered the fact that women had not been a part of many research studies at all. In fact, almost all studies up until that time were studies of white men. So she decided to help launch the Women's Health Initiative over the objections of many at the NIH. She spoke up respectfully but forcefully, and the study moved forward. And the Women's Health Initiative proved to be a landmark study and paved the way for including women in future research. Third story, speaking up for physician scientists and the integrity of scientific research. So soon after joining the NIH, she was brought before Congress and their Office of Scientific Integrity. Claims were made undermining scientists at the Cleveland Clinic and other prominent institutions. And the entire structure of government-funded biomedical research was under threat. These accusations were chilling if true, and she reviewed these very carefully and she found them to be inaccurate. Additionally, she found there was absolutely no due process for scientists who had been accused. Careers were being ruined. She stood up to one of the most powerful men in Congress to defend these researchers and the scientific process. Her voice was strong and powerful, and she didn't back down when it would have been very easy to do so. Ultimately, the researchers were vindicated, and their names were cleared, and the Office of Scientific Integrity was reformed. She was truly a role model that can inspire us all today. We're used to speaking up. We speak up for safety. That's one of the things we do at the clinic because we know that that can improve patient care. And we know that silence can harm patients. Silence can also harm science and public health. I encourage you to speak up and defend all who support public health, science, and scientific research. Now, equally important is how do you do that? And this is where hopefully your communication skills training will come into play. Speak up as an individual when you get the opportunity. I do this in my clinic. Speak up as part of a group that defends science and fights misinformation. Our collective voices can be strong. Your approach is critical. When confronted with misinformation, be respectful, be empathetic to someone's position. Recognize they may have gotten information that has caused them to believe things. Be sensitive to that. Be courteous, be curious, be humble, but don't be silent. It's part of our professional responsibility to speak up. Now we're going to transition to Dr. Mihaljevic. Dr. Mihaljevic unfortunately could not be here tonight, but I can tell you he loves the school. He loves all of you as students. There's no stronger supporter of our school as CEO than Dr. Mihaljevic, so we will hear a short video from him.
Thank you, Dr. Isaacson. Congratulations to our 14th graduating class from the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. It is a privilege to address you and your loved ones on this special day, and I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. We gather to celebrate your hard work. You have earned a great education, which did not come easy. Few students have experienced as much change as you, from a transition in academic leadership to a new learning environment, and then the pandemic. We know it was hard on you, yet you rose to the occasion. During the crisis, you asked how you could help. You worked on ventilators, offered to assist with telemedicine, and wanted to support our caregivers' households. When our community confronted tough issues surrounding race, you took a stance and pushed for more inclusion in our programming. Most recently, you advocated for other students to be vaccinated against COVID-19. You have shown character and resilience, which are necessary traits of every physician. Because this career is about so much more than providing medicine. It is about being a leader, both within healthcare and the communities we serve. By now, you have learned to win as a team. Take a moment and thank everyone in your team who has stood by your side. Your families, who offer unconditional love and support. Your educators, who guide you toward opportunity, and those who invested in you, including Norma Lerner and her late husband Al, who made this school possible. All of us look forward to the good you will achieve. Know that after your residency, you will always have a job at Cleveland Clinic. Congratulations once again, and I wish you the very best of luck on your journey.
Arbaz and Deborah, you want to come down?
Thank you, Dean Isaacson. Two individuals have immeasurably supported our class over the past 5 years. On behalf of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine class of 2022, we would like to thank Mrs. Norma Lerner. Our class would not be where we are today without the foresight and devotion of Mrs. Lerner and her late husband, Mr. Alfred Lerner. We are the fortunate heirs of their vision in founding the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine and co-founding the Lerner Research Institute. The ancient rabbis teach that a house becomes a home when it becomes a center of teaching and learning. You, Mrs. Lerner, make every place you touch a home. A couple of months into our first year, we enjoyed lunch with Mrs. Lerner here at the Intercontinental Hotel. I vividly recall Mrs. Lerner's words. Thank you for choosing Lerner College of Medicine for medical school. I'm so proud of all you have and will accomplish. I chuckled to myself. Only a truly selfless and generous person could thank us for attending such an incredible, innovative, and collaborative school. Mrs. Lerner, we are indelibly shaped by your interest in our success. We have had an abundance of opportunities in our daily lives, inside and outside the classroom and hospital. Our unparalleled experiences at Cleveland Clinic immersed us in innovative research and world-class patient care. You also encouraged us to put down our stethoscopes from time to time and venture out in the 216 with tickets to the Cleveland Orchestra and Browns games. Our class comprises physicians with a wide range of ambitions. We will be pursuing residency programs across the country, bringing the training, learning, and wisdom from this unique medical school to our society and future patients. It is a privilege, responsibility, and honor to be part of the Lerner College of Medicine now and forever. We will continue to make you proud. Thank you so much.
The second person we would like to recognize tonight as a class is someone who has been a role model to all of us. Someone who came to this country as an immigrant and had to overcome numerous obstacles. Someone who has shown us just how far you can go when you combine a passion for serving others with a willingness to work hard. That person is Dr. Mihalovic, the president and CEO of the Cleveland Clinic. Despite being responsible for the lives of nearly 3 million patients and 72,000 caregivers, Dr. Mihalovic has made the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine a top priority. Dr. Mihalovic's commitment to education and passion for training future generations of doctors has allowed the Lerner College of Medicine to continue to be one of only 3 medical schools in the United States to offer full tuition scholarships to all of its students. As a result, this medical school has given us opportunities we never imagined were possible. This is also an exciting moment for me personally because I am here. As the son of immigrants who came from India with nothing, immigrant doctors like Dr. Mihalovic inspire us to dream big and strive to be the best in the world. There was a time when the dream of becoming a physician was nearly unattainable to me. But because of tuition scholarships, amazing mentors, organizations like the Cleveland Clinic, and leadership deeply committed to education, such as Dr. Mihalovic, I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college, the first to graduate from medical school, and the first to become a neurosurgeon. And I am not alone. So many of my classmates have overcome tremendous adversities to get here today. Dr. Mihalovic, thank you for taking a chance on us, and thank you for giving us an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm confident that my classmates and I will pay it forward. Thank you.
The notes and photos in this book are just a small representation of our gratitude to Mrs. Lerner and Dr. Mihalovic. Both have tirelessly supported and advocated for us. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. Joanne and Jatin, come down. Jatin had to actually put up with me in clinic for a couple years, so he deserves a special recognition. But always look forward to the class gifts.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jatin Narang.
Hi, and my name is Joanne Nambuba.
We are so glad to be here in person with everyone tonight. On behalf of the Cleveland Clinic Alumni Association and the CCLCM class of 2022, we are honored to present our class gift. It has become a tradition for the graduating class to present a gift to the school that will leave a lasting impact.
Just give us one moment here. This year, our class has decided to dedicate our class gift to the late Miss Darlene Gray by way of donation in her name to the CCLCM Student Life Emergency Fund. Darlene was a pivotal member of our community at CCLCM who sadly passed away in April of 2021. She was often the first person new students would meet during orientation, and she so wonderfully exemplified the spirit of CCLCM. She had a warm presence, an uplifting attitude, and a generous heart.
The Student Life Emergency Fund was created to provide financial support for students by covering such services as temporary housing, unforeseen medical expenses, and travel costs during personal emergencies. Our class thought this was a particularly fitting donation, as Darlene was often the first person we went to when we were in times of need. Whether you forgot your lunch, needed a form signed, or realized that you did not have badge access to half the hospital, Darlene was always there with a helping hand and an infectious smile.
Before proceeding with the graduation ceremony, we kindly ask the audience to please take a moment of silence to honor Darlene's memory.
Thank you so much for your time. While our class has already made some contributions to the fund, there are often many unmet and unforeseeable needs that pop up in our medical community. If you feel so inclined, we welcome you, our family, our friends, our colleagues, our mentors, to please give to this charitable and worthy cause. We have provided a scannable QR code on the slide above, as well as in an insert to your program. If you're willing to donate, this QR code will take you to our class donation page. Thank you.
Thank you.
We all miss Darlene. She really was a mother to so many of the students. Well, Sophia, this is one of the favorites of this event is the class video. I can't wait to see it. I've not seen it yet, so here we go.
And friends, thank you for joining us today to celebrate our graduation, whether here in person or via live stream. I am honored today to introduce the CCLCM Class of 2022 video. This has become an annual tradition here at CCLCM, and it's an important way for us to express our gratitude for the gift that we have received in our education, as well as to showcase what makes CCLCM so special. Please enjoy the CCLCM Class of 2022 video.
I was over the moon. This was by far and away my first choice.
When I came here, it was so large and intimidating, and there were so many people and so many things going on.
It creates this environment where there's so many opportunities. I remember feeling like I was a kid in a candy shop.
The Lerner College of Medicine really attracts an individual who's really curious, who's really passionate, but also are excited to be part of the medical innovations that are happening.
I couldn't imagine coming to a different school that shaped me and how I envision my career differently than being here at the Cleveland Clinic.
The Lerner program gives you 5 years where you have a whole year for research and you're going to be a doctor. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
We receive extensive verbal and written feedback from our faculty mentors and also from our peers.
You're doing all these reflections on where am I in my process? What are my strengths and my weaknesses? You're getting told that every week.
There's never anyone just telling you what to do or working you through an equation, but rather you're collaborating, working off of each other's knowledge and leaning on your colleagues to really learn and provide care.
If everyone was sitting in a lecture hall, they're only invested in their own learning. But in PBL, you can teach others. You're responsible for them learning the concepts. Every student is accountable.
Not having grades was very different. You have to switch your thinking from, okay, how do I get an A on this test, to how do I know that I'm learning this?
In medical practice, there are no tests, there's just how you take care of your patient. Having that structure just sets you up and prepares you better.
All the way throughout my early training, I kept hearing, it's so different here. There's no other place like this. You would never be able to see this anywhere else. I'm sewing on the heart as a third medical student. It's something that no one else can do.
It has been an unbelievable privilege to be able to work side by side with these incredible physicians.
Mentors have been the thing that has really just stuck in my mind as what has set my education apart and prepared me better than anywhere else. Is I've found really great people who I'm really going to miss.
Research is the canon of medicine. It's the only way that we can drive things forward.
We found that giving TMOG reduced avascular retinal areas.
Standardization would significantly ease machine learning pipelines.
I worked with world-renowned leaders in IBD and in Crohn's disease, getting to learn from them, design studies.
I did a project on aortic biomechanics to help us better understand who needs to have surgery right now and who we can wait a little bit for.
My interest has been primarily in bladder cancer, and we actually looked at the urinary microbiome.
These cells actually act as antigen-presenting cells to the local immune system.
I've been focusing on systemic lupus erythematosus. I think it's helped give me a lot of perspective on how much research there needs to be before you can really understand a disease and create a good therapy.
I think one of the beauties of our school is we're a class size of 32, which really allows close camaraderie.
To find a niche group of friends who are so supportive, not competitive, and so inspiring.
You get to know each other's life and family and what they're interested in pretty early on.
There's always somebody that's up for going to the gym, rock climbing, playing racquetball, grabbing a bite to eat. We've had cookouts and on camping trips.
Jacob would always host these Christmas ugly sweater parties, which was a lot of fun. And then as the pandemic shifted and we created little bubbles that kept me sane during the pandemic.
They're, I guess, quote unquote, normal people, but they are some of the smartest people that I've ever met.
Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought that I would be in medical school during a pandemic. That really exposed to us the heart of medicine and the heart of what we do.
I really felt like I was hands-on and contributing on the front lines with these unbelievable intensivists and learning from them and seeing that even during a crazy pandemic, they can take time for a medical student to learn and participate in the care. It was really special and I'll never forget it.
We saw how we as future physicians can step up and make meaningful contributions to a society.
One of the amazing projects that I was able to be a part of with actually 2 of my classmates, we actually built an emergency ventilator at the beginning of the pandemic. We were able to publish these findings so that other people can build a ventilator. Being at an institution that supports those kinds of projects, especially when they're student-led, that really makes me feel like this is an awesome place to be.
I see how the effect of having access to care and access to high quality care is incredibly important throughout all domains of health.
We saw the statistic of maternal and infant mortality in Cuyahoga County. We saw that there were stark racial disparities. A group of students and myself came together and put together the Minority Maternal Health Initiative. We are assigned one-on-one to a pregnant mother who is Black or Hispanic, and we just help connect her to all the resources that she needs to make her pregnancy wholesome. It's a mix of all the things that you want to see in medical education or just being a great physician, as well as a great humanitarian.
It's a lot of work for us, 5 years to this point. Now we just wait.
Very surreal. I don't think it's hit a lot of us yet.
Feels a little nerve-wracking, finding out where we're going soon.
So it's great to see how people have grown over time and kind of found their specialty of choice.
Just really excited to see where I'll be and waiting for the hour.
And so recognize right now this is a great start to a journey for you into residency. Congratulations to everyone, and can't wait till noon.
3, 2, 1.
I am going to New York Presbyterian Cornell campus for anesthesiology.
I matched back home to Stanford. Very happy.
I'm going to Denver Health for emergency medicine. I feel very excited.
I did great. I'm going to Tufts for dermatology.
I did really well. I matched at my #1, Cleveland Clinic for urology. I'm so excited. Dream come true.
I matched to Columbia, which was my #1 choice, neurology.
So I matched in OBGYN at Stanford. Very overwhelmed. It was my #1.
Thomas Jefferson, neurosurgery.
I'm going to Michigan. I'm so excited. This was my #1 choice.
I matched Cleveland Clinic in thoracic surgery. So excited.
I matched at Stanford, internal medicine. I'm so happy for everyone.
I matched at University of Pennsylvania for internal medicine. I'm very excited.
We're couples matching, and I've matched to USC for neurology.
I matched at UCLA for ophthalmology. It's my top choice.
We're at a very exciting time entering medicine now. We're going to see so many amazing innovations and advances, and I want to be a part of those innovations.
It's not the smartest person in the room, it's the person who really loves what they're doing and is going to be day after day after day really working to improve on themselves.
Empathy is one of the biggest values that this Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine really instills in us.
The best physicians I've seen are those who effectively use silence. Patients are really deep in their emotions, and the physician doesn't rush them, doesn't keep talking, and effectively use the silence.
They have this trust and belief in us that we're going to go forth and carry out their hopes and carry out the mission of the Cleveland Clinic.
And the responsibility that I hold, that knowing each patient is coming from a different walk of life, that they're coming with their own personal story, and that we're not just treating that disease, but we're looking after the patient who happens to have that disease.
Wow. The video didn't disappoint this year. It's sort of watching the match. It's like watching a sporting event. You know the outcome already, but I get just as excited watching it again. And it just brings emotion to us, I think, when we see that happening. So we come to another important part of our program tonight, and that is an introduction of our faculty speaker, and Ryan. Looking forward to having you up here.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Jung, and I have the pleasure of introducing our faculty speaker tonight. Dr. Charles Tannenbaum is an assistant professor in molecular medicine here at CCLCM. Originally from New York City, he earned his bachelor's degree at SUNY Binghamton, followed by his master's degree and doctorate in microbiology and immunology at Temple University. He moved to the Cleveland Clinic as a postdoctoral fellow in 1987, where he has remained ever since, becoming a project scientist at the Research Institute in 1990 and an assistant professor in 2005. Dr. Tannenbaum has been with CCLCM since its inception. Over the years, the students have gotten to know Dr. Tannenbaum in many different capacities. For some of us, he's been a facilitator in our PBL or PSS small groups. Others of us have been the recipient of his gentle, constructive feedback on our oral presentations. All of us were very fortunate to learn immunology from Dr. Tannenbaum during our first year, as he guided us deftly through a sometimes impenetrable world of cytokines, immunoglobulins, and complement factors. His work as an educator has been recognized on numerous occasions. He's received awards such as the Kaiser Permanente Award for Excellence in Teaching by Case Western Reserve University, the Award for Outstanding Service by Lerner Research Institute, as well as the CCLCM Graduating Students Award. In his career as a researcher, he has focused on the mechanisms by which tumors evade the immune system, including most recently defining the specific chemokines that are elaborated by tumors which elicit immunosuppressive cell populations into the tumor bed. He has also studied immunotherapeutic interventions that are aimed at enhancing the immune system's response to cancer. Dr. Tannenbaum exemplifies the continual curiosity, the dedication to teaching, and the kindness that so many of our faculty share. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Charles Tannenbaum.
Thanks very much, Ryan. That was very, very kind. One of the side benefits of actually working closely with the medical school is I get to meet and have 32 new friends every year. And this group was particularly pleasant and warm our entire time together. So first of all, congratulations to the graduating class of 2022. I haven't seen most of you in a very, very long time. Really since your first year at CCLCM, when you spent a lot of time in the classroom. And that's just one of the reasons that I was so surprised, but honored to have this invitation. I know that since then you've been through a lot of extensive training at the Cleveland Clinic with really some of the best medical doctors in the world. But as a non-clinician, I can't possibly relate to the effort you must have exerted to learn all those clinical skills. However, as someone that did observe your extraordinary academic achievements during your first year of medical school, I can certainly attest to the fact that intellectually, you are all extremely well suited for your profession. Even though CCLCM has no grades or ranking system, what parents, friends, and even some of the faculty might not know is the extent to which you are monitored and evaluated daily during those first 2 years and beyond. And as a faculty member that was involved in facilitating or teaching a number of your first year classes, as you know, I was charged with paying close attention to your performances and providing a number of those assessments. So for those of you that don't know, virtually everything these graduating students did during those first 2 years, the research seminars they gave at the end of their first summer, the contributions they made to classroom discussions, the weekly 15-minute PowerPoint presentations they gave during the organ blocks, the 2 weekly essays they had to write for each of those same courses, and even the quality of the questions they asked during the faculty research seminar series. All of these behaviors were carefully observed and formally assessed, and then electronically sent to the students and to their physician advisors as feedback, which the students used as evidence needed to move on to the next level. And I would have to guess that one of the reasons I'm standing here today is because the students' appreciation for the time and effort we as faculty exert, attempting to give them the quality feedback that we think they deserve. I assure you that spending the time to write assessments is every faculty member's least favorite thing to do. It's certainly tedious and extremely time-consuming. But I, and I'm sure a lot of other faculty members, are firm believers in rewarding excellence and realize how important it is to give our outstanding students the credit they deserve, especially when they do something extra special, when they perform academically far beyond all expectations. And having looked over the assessments I wrote for the class of 2022, these students did that all the time, and I was always inspired when I had the opportunity to observe it. For example, I organized something called the ARM course, which is the weekly faculty seminar series that students attend every Friday, where they hear about research related to the organ blocks that they're currently studying. You would think it might be difficult for me to convince faculty members to prepare and present updated seminars year after year, but virtually every speaker contends that the CCLCM students are their favorite audience, not just because of the extremely insightful and intelligent questions they ask, but also for the points they bring up and for the experiments they suggest that the speakers often hadn't thought of themselves. And having read over the 2 sets of ARM assessments I wrote for this class, I was reminded of how many of you asked our speakers scientifically sophisticated questions that frankly very often I didn't even understand, but that so impressed the speakers that they invariably asked to be invited back the following year to give another seminar. Where these students additionally demonstrated their academic versatility was in the problem-based learning sessions of the organ blocks. Here, divided into 4 groups of 8, they were presented with the symptoms, lab results, and family histories of fictitious patients, and then collectively used their knowledge and reasoning skills to diagnose the patient's underlying disease. Every week, each student also had little more than a day to prepare and present a thoroughly researched and illustrated PowerPoint presentation that illuminated or clarified a medical issue potentially relevant to solving the case, a topic which they often initially knew nothing about. I think that as facilitators and course directors, we sometimes take these intellectually challenging weekly accomplishments for granted. As an experienced teacher that requires a week or more to prepare a seminar on a topic I already understand, I can tell you that the extraordinarily high-quality presentations these students generated under the duress of weighty obligations and time constraints were certainly worthy of the respect and praise they received. And again, looking over the assessments I wrote while facilitating the GI block for 8 of our graduating students, I was reminded of their wonderfully eloquent LO presentations, and even of the several students that would instead go to the board and present their extremely complex LOs as chalk talks, not just describing the physiology from memory, but also drawing beautiful illustrations of the relevant organs on the board. But what I hope I'd be most remembered for is my effort to teach you immunology. But here you've given me at least as much as I've given you. It isn't wise to walk into a class of CCLCM students without thoroughly knowing the material you're about to teach. And over the years, I've become a much more knowledgeable immunologist, researcher, and grant editor by virtue of the student-induced pressures to anticipate every possible question you might ask when I'm giving my seminars. And in closing, I know that you're all going to be outstanding doctors. You're extraordinarily bright, and are already scheduled to perform your residencies at some of the best hospitals in the country. So you don't need any of my encouragement in that regard. But if I was asked to give you any advice, it would be this. While at CCLCM, you are always repeatedly encouraged to use dependable sources for your learning objective presentations and for any other medical information you had to cite. You were told, use these references, but don't use those. But if we've learned anything over the last couple of years, it's that purportedly dependable sources can sometimes be undependable. There's lots of misinformation. So no matter what kind of information you're looking for, it's important to read widely, go to the original sources, and use your inquisitive natures and common sense to interpret the data and then to arrive at logical conclusions. Your generation will be the one making some very important decisions, medical and otherwise, in the years to come. It's a great responsibility, and I know that it's one you'll be ready for. So again, congratulations. It's been a great pleasure getting to know you and contributing whatever I could to your medical education, and I wish you all the best of luck in your future careers.
Thank you, Charlie. And I think you get a flavor for this collaboration that we have here, where the faculty are challenged and learn just as much as the students. Now, another exciting part of our program, we have a student speaker elected by his peers, Spencer Sabalos. Please come up, Spencer. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Good evening, families, friends, faculty, staff, Lerner family, and graduating class of 2022 of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. I'm honored to be here today speaking to you. First, I should mention that I have no disclosures. To my classmates, we did it. The past 5 years have been a time of unprecedented change and challenges, not only in our lives, but in the entire world. The big one that I am sure is on everyone's mind is the solar eclipse we had back in 2017. I remember many of us got a break from the lab experience for a couple of minutes to stare at the sun. At that time, it seemed like a major event, but it was only the beginning. Since then, we experienced a global pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement. The Cleveland Browns went 0-16. There was a generational transition of new leadership at our school and the move of our classes to the sleek and modern all-glass health education campus, which even hosted a presidential debate. Sometimes when I'm there, I feel like I'm in an Apple store rather than being there for class. This past year, in our virtual residency interviews and socials, we endured Zoom fatigue. Finally, the most difficult challenge of all, starting work on our Year 4 portfolio on the day it was due. Starting CAPS at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning prepared me for moments like that last one. Despite all these major events, transitions, and challenges, we thrived. I am so impressed by all the things you have accomplished here at CCLCM, be it winning prizes in running and bike races, singing in the Cleveland Orchestra Chorus, securing the bag by winning competitive awards and research grants, successfully driving in your first Cleveland winter, publishing fantastic research, cooking some of the best Indian food and jollof rice in Cleveland, giving research presentations at the top conferences in your fields, and earning a well-done compliment from Dr. Walsh after a Whipple procedure with him. Just kidding about that last one. No way that's ever happened. It is easy to think that the accomplishments of others overshadow one's own. Easy to think that you're behind compared to others, or the classic imposter syndrome. Indeed, I have felt those myself at times here at CCLCM. After all, you are such exceptional people, both within the realm of academia and also outside. In some sense, I frequently forgot how accomplished you all were when we were sharing meals, studying together, sending memes, playing sports and Jackbox games, or figuring out in class that someone's computer was not being actively hacked. Rather, it was just a broken computer mouse. Second, I never thought I would say this, but I found that the learning plans I wrote every 6 months as part of the curriculum helped me overcome some of those feelings. Since I use myself in the learning plan rather than others as the bar for comparison, it was easier to observe my own personal and professional accomplishments, even those that were subtle. I'm sure our school's administration and the medical school performance review committee will love this anecdote, and they introduce learning plans to new first-year students. All in all, these feelings of inadequacy in comparison with others may occur during residency, fellowship, and in our future careers. Then, it will be crucial to remember that your path may look different from others, and your own personal growth matters the most. In our future careers as physician scientists, it will be challenging to balance the time between our work and the people who matter most to us. One of my biggest takeaways from my time at CCLCM was to remember to prioritize those relationships outside of the hospital, because medicine isn't everything. For example, in my first 2 years of medical school, I made it a priority to visit my grandfather and grandmother each week due to their declining health. They immigrated to Cleveland in the 1970s, and they're the reason I'm a big Cleveland sports fan and put on my residency applications, Cleveland Browns Super Bowl 2022 champions. Yikes. I will never forget the time spent playing chess with my grandfather. Even when he asked me the same question several times during visits, he still checkmated me several times. My grandmother shared stories about being an anesthesiologist and compared them to my medical school experiences. She was one of the first women in Ohio to be board certified in anesthesiology back in the 1970s. Unfortunately, they passed away in my second year, right in the middle of the semester when we were studying for Step 1 board exams. Later, I remember being disappointed when my Step 1 exam hadn't gone as well as hoped, but looking back, the time spent with my grandparents and family was infinitely more meaningful than extra blocks of UWorld. I realize many of you will end up training far from family and friends, and in-person visits will be difficult or impossible. Even small gestures like snail mail letters and video calls are valuable to embrace those relationships, since every day is a day you will never have back. Plus, your parents will want to hear about what you're up to, so they can brag to their friends about how their full tuition scholarship child is saving lives and making tons of money, even when you're still a resident. Joke's on us. In sum, despite the busyness of medicine, prioritize those who you are close to in life and how to creatively make meaningful moments with them. Our time at CCLCM has prepared us for a career in academic medicine. Importantly, CCLCM has shown me many areas of strength in academic medicine, such as fantastic hands-on teaching, second-to-none biostatistics training, robust mentorship, and the importance of professionalism. For example, amid a busy residency schedule, I know I will complete the mandatory wellness modules before I receive emails telling me I'm late on those. CCLCM has taught me the importance of timeliness, lest my board score goes down 1.6 points for each instance of tardiness. At the same time, its idiosyncrasies have also shown me some of the targeted areas of improvement in the system, or TAFEs, as we like to call them here. I continue to be inspired by classmates who have advocated for change and worked to implement their ideas, such as improving institutional processes to be more inclusive and equitable, proposing curricular improvements, supporting peers through difficult situations, expressing concerns that others might be fearful of voicing, and initiating community projects within the greater Cleveland area. We owe it to our colleagues and those who come after us, especially those who are marginalized or underrepresented, to be the change that we ultimately seek in academic medicine. Sometimes it even takes an accidental reply all. Our success did not come without the support of countless friends, family, faculty, and other staff around us. With the transition at CCLCM over the past several years, I want to give a special thank you to those who are not formally with the school anymore, but were indispensable to our adjustment to CCLCM's non-traditional setting, such as Dr. Franco, Dr. Prayson, and Dr. Cobb. And where would we be without our administrative and admissions staff, who are always so welcoming from our interview day and into our start at CCLCM? Karen, Sade, and Darlene, we're grateful for the friendly listening ear in the office and your support along the way. There are countless other incredible faculty and staff who also deserve mention, some of whom have already been or will be recognized today. We are indebted to your commitment to us students. These experiences at CCLCM have taught us valuable lessons about our future careers, the importance of focusing on personal growth rather than comparing ourselves to others, valuing time spent with family and friends outside of medicine, and advocating to improve the system. Because of these things, you have made a difference in our time here at CCLCM, and I'm confident you will do the same in your residency programs and beyond. Before I go, I end with one final recommendation from my time at CCLCM. Don't munch on loud, crunchy veggie straws during a group 4-hour Step 1 practice test. To my classmates, I am so sorry about that, and I now choose gum instead. Thank you.
Thank you, Spencer. Very well done. And in terms of the eclipse, you had one in 2017. I think tomorrow night is the lunar eclipse for the red moon. So there's something magical about this class, I guess, right? Mehdi, anxious for you to come up and talk about our Outstanding Contribution Faculty Award winner.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to introduce Dr. Kendall Cobb as our class nominee for Outstanding Faculty Contribution.
As our assigned physician advisor, Dr. Cobb guided 6 of us in the graduating class through our annual performance reviews, or portfolios as we called them, ensuring that we were eligible for promotion to the following class year. As the Dean of Diversity, she mentored so many more of us, chipping away at our imposter syndrome, one meeting at a time. Her incredible support for my classmates and I was evident on match day this year, when Dr. Cobb could be seen holding my hand as I nervously opened my envelope, or weaving through the crowd to check in on all her mentees. However, her support did not end there on match day. She continued to check in on many of us as we processed our next big steps. When I asked Dr. Cobb why she remains so involved with medical students, even though she is now the Associate Chief of Staff at the Cleveland Clinic, she said to me, "Accompaniment and service are my callings, so I make time when students need me. Medical students are the future, and the creativity, problem solving, and skill I have witnessed in students are far more than I will ever achieve. It is an honor to be part of their journey," and I end quote. So if I could describe Dr. Cobb in one word, it would be lighthouse. Best embodied by one of my favorite quotes from the author Anne Lamott, who writes, "Lighthouses don't go running all over an island looking for boats to save. They just stand there, shining." Dr. Cobb, you have been a lighthouse for many of us in medical school to gravitate towards. And now that we have found our way, we owe it to you to pay it forward. Thank you. And now I'd like to call Dr. Cobb to receive the award.
I'm a rule follower, so I leaned over to my daughter, Catherine, because I had prepared some remarks, and she said, "Dr. Isaacson said to speak up." So I just want to say something very briefly to the graduating class. Thank you for this honor. There are many people who have contributed to your individual and collective journey, so I'm humbled by your choice. Some of you know that I have some pretty accomplished college classmates. I want to share with you the name of another classmate you might not have heard of, John Unger. After commencement, John went on to graduate from Harvard Law School. He decided to return to his hometown and became a high school history teacher and soccer coach. In our reunion report that arrived a few weeks ago, John wrote that he wanted to extend a hello to his fellow teachers and mentioned me. That was impactful, as I had recognized that my professional life was not quite what I wanted. And I am excited that on July 1st, I will return to my role in the medical school as a physician advisor, a role that I served from 2006 to 2019. It is important to pay attention to what you want, what matters most to you, and to be brave and to act on those choices, even if they don't align with some external standard of success or societal expectation. With that, again, I thank you for this honor, and I hope that you will remember for decades to come that the things that we say and do make a difference in the lives of others, regardless of whether we receive an award, and I hope that you will remember the lessons of John Unger. Thank you.
So, Kendall, we're delighted that you're coming back into that role, and I think that wonderful testimony to your effect on our students means you're heading back to the right place. Alexia, a very special award too. We created an award for the outstanding contribution from an administrative member. So, Alexia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today. I have the distinct honor of presenting the 2022 CCLCM Graduating Students Award for Outstanding Administrative Contribution, posthumously, to Darlene Gray. I know that the CCLCM community at large is very thankful to have multiple opportunities to honor her memory today. I wanted to add to the lovely words of Joanne and Jatin and Spencer, and to reflect specifically about what made Darlene's contribution to the CCLCM community and administration so significant for all of us. Like many of my classmates, I spent the better part of the last year applying to residency programs. Going through that application cycle reminded me of the importance of the culture of an educational institution as set by its leadership. I found myself thinking back to the experience of applying to and starting medical school here and how I perceived the CCLCM administrative culture at that time. With a small program like ours, it is easy to make comparisons to a family, but back then and even now, I really can't think of a better way to illustrate Darlene's role in our educational lives than as our professional grandmother. I say that with truly all the honor and respect that the role of a grandmother deserves, especially knowing that there are some grandmothers here today and others who we wish could be here. And I say this because there was no pretense with Darlene. She was always there for our needs, and we in turn tried to be there for her when she needed extra hands to move supplies or carry out a kind deed for another student, staff, or faculty member. Anytime she felt that someone in the CCLCM community needed our support, there was a card on her desk waiting for our messages and our signatures. She was a constant, kind, and supportive presence in our lives. However, she did not accept complacency from us. She had the wisdom to know what we were capable of and pushed us to be our best as medical students and as members of the school's community. I am sure that she was confident that we would make it to this milestone of graduation, even in moments when we doubted it ourselves. As difficult as it was to lose Darlene last year, her role in this school and in her students' lives will not be forgotten, and we remain deeply grateful for the time we had with her. Unfortunately, no one from her family was able to be here today to accept her award on her behalf, but we do have it here, and we wanted to take this time to honor her. Thank you very much.
I think you can see what a big impact Darlene made, and we miss her terribly. But we will continue to have her in our thoughts and memories. Fred, I want to invite you up to talk about our award winner for excellence in research.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frederick Allen, and it is my immense honor and privilege to present this year's Excellence in Research Education Award. The recipient, though he would never admit it, has produced an incredible volume of biomedical research that is of incomparable excellence, breadth, and depth. To speak only of this, however, would not even begin to aptly summarize his greatest achievements and qualities. Every single CCLCM student has benefited from his undying devotion to educate and to involve medical students in research. His seminars are never limited in scope to clinical medicine, but instead he carefully walks us through the creative discovery process that has led to our current understanding. He also championed an initiative to equip us with the tools necessary to participate in this discovery process within the scope of our own future practices, whatever they may be. Moreover, he understands, imparts, and exemplifies to us that medical research is not limited to basic translational or clinical science, but can involve public health, or medical history, or mathematics. To me, and to many others, he is a mentor who has inordinately shaped and guided my development as a physician scientist. He is one of the few individuals I know who can remain intently focused on the betterment and success of his mentees and the accomplishment of rigorous scientific investigation without a single thought to bolstering his own resume. Perhaps his greatest strength, though, as both a mentor and a researcher, is his commitment to genuinely seeking out and valuing the input not only of his students, but also that of any and all stakeholders within the scope of a research endeavor, including patients, basic scientists, technicians, statisticians, among others. He does this in the spirit of finding, in his words, truth with a capital T. Most of all, he is a dear friend of mine. And it is now my pleasure to present the award to Dr. Marvin Arnatovich. Here you go, it's 2 pieces.
It's been an honor to work with this particular class, a group of absolutely extraordinary people. You've shaped me and helped me, and I've tried hard to work with all of you as well and have learned tremendously from you. I've been enormously humbled and privileged by the opportunity to work with 3 people in this particular class in various research projects. Fred, an amazing student, Fred Allen, Brianna Prager, a brilliant molecular geneticist and neurosurgeon, budding neurosurgeon, and Raul Wada, who already is a most talented mathematical biologist. All of you, I thank you very much for the privilege of working with you.
You always get nervous when someone says, "Can I say a few words?" But thank you, Marvin, for your words. I now have a great honor to present the Elaine F. Danifer Award. And Dale, I don't know if you're here. If you could raise your hand. We're looking for Dale. Maybe not. Anyway, Elaine was one of the founding faculty of CCLCM. I knew her very well. And she was the champion of our innovative portfolio system with a focus on reflective practice. And this is a system that has grown and been disseminated internationally. This award is presented to a faculty member who exemplifies the ideals of mentoring and reflective practice at CCLCM that Elaine embodied. Delighted this year to present the award to Dr. Beth Beer. In her nomination, this following quote came to me. Dr. Beer is the Director for Assessment and Evaluation and has deeply internalized the principles of competency-based assessment, reflective portfolios, and formative feedback. She has done more than anyone to disseminate our model of education and assessment on the world stage. Congratulations, Beth.
Well, thank you so much. I'm deeply honored to receive this award. I knew Elaine when she started at the clinic in 2003, where she was my mentor, my colleague, and my dear friend. And I'm honored to receive this and hope to continue to emulate the values that she instilled at CCLCM.
Thank you. All right, we're getting to the exciting part of this, really, where we recognize our graduates. And so I want to invite the physician assistants to come down, the deans to come down, and we'll talk a little bit about what the students are going to receive. Also want to acknowledge that we have many of our students getting masters tomorrow from CASE. Both MDs and PhDs, I think the most we've ever had. So congratulations to all of these students. The students will also receive a Cleveland Clinic folio, as well as a copy of the Lucas Bronze on your right. These are gifts from us to our students, and they will now also join the Alumni Association. And we have Chelsea Fang and Josh Clemenger, two of our alumni, who will present the class of 2022 with their alumni pins. So the way we're going to work this year is the physician advisors will present the students that they worked with over 5 years, and we will then proceed with a picture and with the gifts.
I am delighted to present our first student, and that is Navu Kaur. She will be doing an internal medicine residency at the University of Michigan Hospitals and Health Centers. Okay, welcome. Next slide. Spencer Sabelas. He will be doing emergency medicine at Denver Health Medical Center. Jessica Jones will be doing a residency in pediatrics, University of California, Davis Health System. Maxwell Lee will be doing otolaryngology at Stanford University. Vigneshwar Subramanian will be doing internal medicine residency at Stanford University. Raul R. Wadwa will not be present tonight. However, he is doing a postdoctoral fellowship in research at Cleveland Clinic.
Melissa Coronado will be headed for residency in neurology at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University Medical Center. Michael Haupt will be headed to Ohio Health Riverside Methodist Hospital for his transitional year in medicine, followed by his physical medicine and rehabilitation residency at the University of Michigan Hospitals and Health Centers. Deborah Park will be joining Brigham and Women's Hospital's residency program in psychiatry. Daniel Santana is headed to orthopedic surgery at the University of California, Davis Health System. And Tisaleli Tuifua is going to do his residency in diagnostic radiology at Aurora Healthcare.
Emily Durback will be doing thoracic surgery at Cleveland Clinic. Metabel Markway will be doing OBGYN at Stanford University. Joan Nambuba will be doing emergency medicine at Ohio State University Medical Center. Brianna Prager will be doing neurological surgery at Massachusetts General Hospital.
Sophia Figueroa Katz will be doing pediatrics at Stanford University. Wenting Ma will be doing anesthesiology at New York Presbyterian. Alexia Zaguras will be doing internal medicine at Stanford University.
Salam Bashur will be doing internal medicine at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Jordan Bell will be doing his medicine preliminary year and his ophthalmology residency at University of Buffalo. Jatin Narang will do his transitional year at Newton Wellesley Hospital and dermatology at Tufts Medical Center. Megan Sheehan will be doing internal medicine at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania.
Frederick Allen will be doing pathology at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. Jacob Knorr will be doing urology at the Cleveland Clinic. Daniel Leonard will be doing internal medicine at the Massachusetts General Hospital. Sharia Lewis will be doing her preliminary medicine at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center and neurology at Stanford University. Freddie Morgan will be doing his preliminary medicine at Massachusetts General Hospital and will be following it up with dermatology at man's greatest hospital, Massachusetts General Hospital. Waylon Song, Mel Song will be doing her preliminary ophthalmology at UCLA Medical Center and ophthalmology also at University of California, LA.
Okay, Deborah Linfield will be doing emergency medicine at the University of Miami Jackson Health System. Okay, Ryan Jung will be doing medicine preliminary year at Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra in Northwell, and then we'll be going on to do neurology at the University of Southern California.
Ellen Brisna is heading off to the University of Colorado for internal medicine. And last but not least is Arbaz Momen. He's heading off to neurosurgery at Thomas Jefferson University. Come on, Arbaz.
Wow, that's quite an impressive group, isn't it? We are so proud of all of you. In a very short time, you're going to be on the front lines of care, and every hospital system you're joining will be better off for having you there. For those of you here tonight, we are so grateful for all of you joining us. For those of you joining virtually, we appreciate you very much as well. Please be safe. We're excited now to have a reception up in the lobby. So we'll have the graduates exit to their theme song, and then we will have a nice reception up on the third floor. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right.